How can you use peer assessment to better engage students and improve learning in creative courses? We checked in with Professor Jones from Sheridan College on just this. Let's see what he has to say.
Don't worry about the art. It's fine. You can do many, many things, even if you're just going to be aggressively ugly at it. And that allows people to unlock a lot of creativity and create really incredible stories. But I wanted them to share that with each other. And especially with in-person critique not being possible in the last couple of years, how do you do it? Critic was really, really useful for that. It basically inserted itself in that hole, and I was allowed to basically allow people to share their own materials with each other. Do 30% of the class basically is peer assessment. And as long as you have a story, the stick figures will say what they're going to say, and it's going to be impactful. So I show various examples of things that are really simple and easy that you can do, but then you still have to have the story, and that's the harder part. Where peer assessment has been very helpful in that is to kind of disavow anyone of any issues when they know that they see other people's work and it's equally kind of crap. It's a little empowering because you feel like, oh, I don't feel too ashamed about what I just did. Critic does have some instructional elements of saying, okay, hey, this is how you do it well. And I make sure that everyone goes through that and we talk about it because it is going to be set up for the next few weeks. We want to make sure that you're actually providing honest, critical at times, but also supportive feedback. And with very few exceptions, people just gravitate to it. They do it very well. I think once you set up the tone, and I try to do that right at the beginning, it's like, this is the attitude of the course. This is the nature that we are trying to create here, that a lot of things are open, that you want to be creative, that you want to be supportive of others, having a certain empathy towards other things. A lot of the people who are probably the better commentators on other people's work are also doing some excellent work. So they're sharing a lot of what they know. And, in this class, we usually have a few people who are really good at illustration just as a hobby space. And they're happy to, show what they've learned. It does reward the people who are very good at keeping on that schedule. And that is also very helpful. The process is very, regimented at one level where it's like, the deadline for this is that, the deadline for evaluation is that, the deadline for feedback is that. And that's one recommendation I would do for anyone who wants it, is like, keep the same schedule every week. Let's investigate some things that are quite serious and personal, but let's do it in a very playful manner. Let's do it in a very exploratory manner. And when you get people involved on that, it takes a while because a lot of students are not necessarily geared towards that either. They want to have, where's my rubric? What do I need to do to get an A? A lot of this is very process based. So it's kind of like, I want you to explore. I want you to create. I want you to take risks. Mm-hmm. And when they do, it takes time a little bit, but with the peer assessment, with the view that we're all in it together, it actually works really well.
What we learned from this discussion with Professor Michael Jones was that whether you're in a creative discipline or in virtually any other type of course, the way you set up your class, the way you set up your assignments, and the steps you take to make your students feel more comfortable and safe with what they're doing makes a massive difference on their learning and their ability to connect with their peers. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for future workshops with Chris.